guys, Mama Rose here, going for a walk around the neighborhood. So the goal is, of course, to get some exercise and get healthy. So that's what we're doing. Let's see if we can find something to talk about today. Why don't we talk about the way we approach arguments? That's a fun topic. So something I find by most people when it comes to everything, whether it be debating or just an argument that they're in, we want to approach it from this point of, I'm right, you're wrong. Which, usually there is a clear I'm right, you're wrong side to it. But, does it really get us anywhere? Because most of the time when people are sitting there arguing from an I'm right, you're wrong approach, they're only looking at what they see and what they know. You ever seen those pictures where there's a number, like a number 9 or a number 6 on the ground, and somebody's arguing, no, it's a 9, no, it's a 6, no, it's 9, no, it's a 6. And they have the caption where it says that, just because you are right doesn't mean the other person isn't right. That has some truth to it, but it's also not necessarily right. Because 90% of the time, there is an actual right or wrong. Because I've seen that same meme, and they talk about how there's usually something, whether it be a house number or a line or something or another, to align what the number is actually supposed to be. And that's usually the case. However, if you're only looking right at it, you're not taking a moment to take and stop and look around, see your perspective and everybody else's perspective, all you're going to see is that number. So, when we approach an argument or something that we should really consider doing is, rather than just going, I'm right, and I know I'm right because the house is there, the street's here, and this number has to be facing this way because of that, take a moment, go to the other side, and look at it and go, okay, so I see from where you're standing, it looks like this number, but come from where I'm standing and see what I'm seeing. And then you could point out what you're seeing that makes you think that your number is correct. Changing your way of looking at things can help people want to come around and see things your way and create more of an understanding, and you might actually reach them better because you're not coming from, I'm right, you're coming from, I understand where you're coming from, now come see where I'm coming from. And doing this, we can actually make better progress in pretty much everything in our relationships and our work, even in the world, because let's face it, that's what everything comes down to, is we need to understand where people are coming from in order to understand how to help them see things from another perspective. Another perfect example of this is I'm actually wanting to write books from victims' perspectives or people with disabilities perspectives, so that way the world can see things through their eyes. And when I'm talking and I'm doing research on this, one of the people I've spoke to asked me to make sure to highlight from a victim's perspective of somebody who's been in an abusive relationship, what they're really thinking. And what I mean is, a lot of times when people are in an abusive relationship, somebody will come up and go, dude, that's not right. You need to get out of it. And you hear them go, oh, he's not that bad, or she's not that bad, or the situation's not that bad. And people assume they're just making excuses for the other person. And yes, this is true to an extent. But after a while, it's not just about the other person. A lot of times what ends up happening is, after a certain point of time of people constantly going, this is bad, this is whatever, blah, 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 you need to get out, these people are starting to take it personally. Sometimes what they're really thinking isn't, oh no, they're wrong, this person's not that bad, but they're thinking, I know this isn't right, but I'm not stupid. So they're trying to justify why they're not stupid for being in the situation. Now, if we can understand from their perspective, even though we know fully well this situation is not right, but if we can understand from their perspective, we can actually approach them and go, hey, you're beautiful, you're smart, what do we need to do to get you out of this situation? Or help me figure out how to help you, or whatever. You know what to do, you tell me. It actually will give them more strength. It allows them to feel more in control and feel actually helped versus being judged. And this is all what I'm talking about, because obviously in that abusive situation, there's a clear right and wrong. And usually everybody knows it. But when you're just approaching it from the right and wrong aspect, you're not understanding the mental part of it. So I think what we need to do as a whole and as everybody is we really need to start approaching things from that perspective of, I want to see where you're coming from, and I want you to see where I'm coming from. So that way people might actually be able to relearn things and teach new things. Because another problem we have with the right and wrong perspective is the fact that our upbringing often will actually justify whatever we're seeing, regardless of what it is. It's just like the concept of back when slaves were there. Back when slaves were there, our upbringing in certain areas told us slavery is wrong. In other areas, it was told slavery was right. And clearly there's a black and white line, what is right and what's wrong. However, because we're not addressing the root issues, which is the upbringing and what needs to change from that point, you just hit a brick wall. It's time that we stop just going, I'm right, you're wrong, this is right, this is wrong situation. We need to start talking more about roots of things. One of the biggest things that gets to me is the whole kneeling thing. And the reason why it gets to me is so many people want to argue about it, about how it's bad and it's disrespectful to the country and all that, but nobody wants to talk about why they're doing it in the first place. And if we would focus on why it's being done, rather than how it's right, it's wrong, it's personally, whatever, maybe things will change. Maybe once things change, the whole situation will change and they will be comfortable standing up. We need to start talking about roots. We need to start seeing from their perspective. Whether we agree with it or not, we need to at least look at it from their perspective. It's just, everybody wants change, but everybody wants to change things in their way. And oftentimes when things are going to change, and if they're going to change, it's not one way or another. There's a middle ground somewheres. But the only way you can find the middle ground and the true middle ground and the proper middle ground is to stop looking from, these leaves look green. When in reality, if you look at the bottom, at the roots, you'll notice they're termites. You have to look at the entire picture, and that's including looking at things from other people's perspective and other people's point of view and upbringing. All of that. It's all important into understanding where people are coming from, why they do what they do, why they think what they think, and ways to actually improve it. And it's just hard to get people to think past the I know, I see, I want concept. And this is everywhere. This isn't like this isn't directed at a specific group of people. This isn't directed at a specific town or a country. This is pretty much everywhere. And I really would like to change the world, and I really plan on changing the world. I'm thinking my books will help. I just really need to figure out how to get my books together and really put it out there in order to convey the message correctly and get it to where people are understanding it. But the thing is that because of the subject matter I'm wanting to write about and how I'm wanting to write about it, I need to find the right way to word it and a way to have it to where people who haven't been through situations similar can feel those situations while not causing PTSD and other issues with the people who have been there. I want it to be healing to the people who have been there and educational for the people who haven't. And that's why my books really haven't been written yet, or fully written yet, because I have a bunch of little starts and stops and resets and rewrites and all that type of stuff. So I'm hoping it helps people see from other people's perspectives, and hopefully it'll change the way people think, the way they respond to people, what they want to do, all that type of stuff. Anyhow, I'm getting winded, as you can hear. It's been a while since I've really walked on a regular basis, so. But anyhow, stay healthy. Consider looking at things from other perspectives before just going, I'm right, you're wrong. I mean, you might be right, but it's not going to help anything if, you're just approaching it from that's just going to hit a brick wall. You have to try to find the door. All right, guys. Bye.